Hello, everyone. This is John Galt speaking here with a live stream. Since I didn't do a live stream last week, I'm going to make up for the live stream that I didn't do last week. I'm going to do it this week. And the reason I didn't do a live stream last week is because I really didn't have nothing to talk about or say. And I still don't. So there you have it. Well, today is my YouTube channel's birthday. As you can see it right here, new achievement. Hooray, it's your channel's birthday. You've come so far. Just imagine where you and your community will be next year. So I have, when the hell did I actually even create this channel, right? Like, what year was it? Do any of you guys even know? Like, I don't know. I guess we could find out somehow, right? Like, if we go to my channel here and we go to, I guess, about, you could see that I started this channel on May 21st of 2016. So actually, it's past my channel's birthday. Unless maybe they are saying, you know, when I posted my first video, which I couldn't even tell you what that video was. Okay. So there's that, right? And, you know, I don't think I've ever really changed this description of my channel. So my original intention was, this is a YouTube channel for my journey into the Unreal 4 engine. I make tutorial videos, create assets and templates for my personal game projects as well as others. Feel free to contact me with, you know, my email address to inquire about anything related to the content found on this channel. So there you have it. So let's see, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and here we are in 2022. So that is 6 years. 6 years I've been bashing at this YouTube stuff. And in 6 years, let me show you guys what I have accomplished. This is pretty saddening, actually. So in that amount of time, I have accumulated 1,586 subscribers. And, you know, I can't tell you how many videos and how many hours of videos that I have posted on this YouTube page, because I go through sometimes and I clean up a bunch of stuff, right? Like, I delete a bunch of videos that I had. A lot of the times, the reasons that I do that, people used to give me so much shit for that, right? Like, I would choose to go through and clean out my YouTube page. I'd delete, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 videos. And they'd be like, hey, man, what happened to that video? I wasn't done watching that, right? And I'm like, well, you know, normally when I delete stuff off of my YouTube page, well, first of all, let me explain to you guys that I never intended to use this YouTube page to get followers, to get likes, to get subscribers, to become YouTube famous. Never to monetize my channel in any way, right? Like, you know, most people, they strive to get their channel monetized. And what happens when you become monetized is they can inject ads into your content. Like, if you make a video, YouTube will put ads in your stuff of their choosing, by the way. You don't even get to pick what ads are put in your stuff. And then ever so often through the video, it'll pop an ad up. And if people watch those ads, you get a certain amount of money from each, I guess, person that watches it, a couple pennies or some shit. And and another thing that you can do when you get your channel monetized and you acquire a certain amount of subscribers is you can give the people the ability to do super chats, right? Like, I'm sure you guys have seen YouTube channels where people put in these super chats, right? Send them $5, $10, $100, whatever it is. And then beyond that, you also can get the ability to have people join your YouTube page, and they pay a certain amount of money every single month. And then with that, you know, you get behind the scenes video, you get private stuff basically, and you get, you know, different names, you know, different colors to your names and all that stuff. And I've never, ever wanted to do that. And the reason is because, believe it or not, guys, a lot of people find this hard to believe, but I'm actually a man of integrity, right? I have high integrity, meaning, and I'm not a hypocrite either, meaning, you know, I don't try to convince you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. I'm not trying to convince you to tolerate something that I'm not willing to tolerate myself. And being a man of integrity and non-hypocritical, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I have run an ad blocker on my browsers ever since such a thing even existed. Okay. And so what that does is it blocks out ads. Not only does it block out ads on websites and shit like that, pop-up ads and all that crap, but it also does it for YouTube. So I couldn't even begin to tell you guys when the last time I seen a fucking YouTube ad was. Okay. And so I'm anti-ad, like literally. And so I've never wanted to try to monetize this channel because I know what that means. Oh, great. Now I get to put ads in my videos and people have to put up with ads, or they run through, you know, run an ad blocker like I do or whatever. And you only get a couple cents for each, you know, view or whatever it is. Right. And so I've just never bothered. And so what I do, or did do, was I never advertise my YouTube channel. Like, I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have a Facebook account. I don't have a TikTok. You know, I don't do the whole social media thing, right? I never have. I've always thought that that was pretty stupid, to be perfectly blunt and honest with you guys. So I never have. So the only place that I even bothered to advertise my YouTube page was on Unreal Engine 4 forums. Like, I've advertised there. Also, you know, in the content that I sell on the UE4 marketplace, there's a little advertisements to mostly tutorial videos about the product. And if they come to watch a tutorial about my product, you know, well, hey, look, this guy makes stuff other than just that. So anyway, I never intended to try to grow this channel into anything other than, this is my personal channel for my personal dicking around. That's all it was ever meant to be. And so, you know, a lot of people contact me. And by the way, happy Friday and happy Memorial Day weekend, by the way. I hope you guys have a really good weekend. A lot of people contact me trying to understand why my channel's not monetized, try to offer me suggestions as to how I could grow this page, want to take products that I sell either on Udemy or on UE4 Marketplace and put them on other platforms for sale, you know, and all this stuff. And, you know, I never respond to those. I never answer those because that's not what this channel was ever meant to be. And so I don't intend to ever try to turn it into anything other than what it is. It's my personal channel, right, that I use to dick around. Sometimes, you know, I put things on this channel that don't have anything to do with Unreal Engine, you know, and sometimes I don't make videos for an extended period of time. So it's just my personal channel that happens to include some Unreal Engine stuff. So, and by the way, this is not talking down to, or not, you know, trying to belittle anybody. This is just, if I wanted to try to grow this channel, I would have, right? I kind of know how it goes. You got to be a Twitterer. You got to be a Facebookerer, right? And I don't get into that shit. Never have and never will. And so there's that. And since this is a live stream where I just dick around and talk about this, and we'll go to the Unreal Engine forums and dick around here in a little while, but I wanted to talk about this because when I logged in to do this stream today, I happened to notice that, hey, look, it's my birthday for this YouTube page. Wow. In 6 years' time, I've acquired 1,500 subscribers or whatever. Woo, that's a big achievement, isn't it? Maybe I should get into the business of making stupid cat videos, right? Would that make me go viral if I made some stupid cat videos? I don't know. Okay. So there you have it. And in the last 28 days, it looks like I've gained 13 followers, probably lost, 36, gained 13 and lost 36. I don't know how that works, and I never have, and I don't care. That's not what this channel's about. And also another thing that I find annoying about people who try to become quote unquote YouTube famous, they constantly harp on, be sure to like, be sure to smack that like button, be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, and I find that shit annoying. Another thing that I find annoying is what I call e-beggars, right? Constantly trying to get people to give them money, right? Like, hey, give me money. Hey, if you want to support the channel, do this. Now, I mention that sometimes, about once every month, maybe I might mention it. But I don't harp on it like some of these people do. Some of these people have bots in their chat on their channel that's constantly spamming how you can send them money. Buy me a coffee, right? They can't even get them to do a super chat. So instead, buy me a coffee or buy me a beer, or, whatever other way it is that they try to get you to send them money. Now, you guys know by the name that I use online, I am John Galt. I have zero problem with people making money. Zero. That's what you do, right? It takes money to make the world go round. Okay? It really does. And so it's not like I'm sitting here saying that everything on the internet should be free. People who operate these channels should never ask for contributions or donations or any of that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that it can definitely be ran into the ground. Okay? And I try not to do that here. So let me bring Chad over here and see what you fine folks are up to. So I'm not quite sure how to say that name. Alardine. Thank you. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Rose Parker. Amazing John. Yeah, I don't know about that. I wish I was amazing, right? Especially if I was the amazing Spider-Man. I would fuck some shit up if I was Spider-Man, just so you guys know. I would literally fuck some shit up. INRG Studio, thank you for the happy birthday. It ain't my birthday, it's my YouTube channel's birthday. But either way, whatever. So I did get some questions this week that we might get into a little bit later into the stream. If you guys want to hang around and hang out on a fine, fantastical Friday. But in the meantime, we are going to go to the forums and we're going to read through some of these topics like we generally always do, and see if anybody's saying anything about anything. And we generally go into the multiplayer and networking because that's what I fancy myself as. Supposedly being into multiplayer and stuff was supposed to make me stick out more, right? And be more unique a better niche so that I would get more support on this channel. But obviously that didn't work out, right? It didn't make a difference. Instead, you have some channels that, they do all the social medias and all that stuff, and they got hundreds of thousands of followers, and that's just how it works, right? That's just how it works. Let's see here. Alardon, have you looked at the new Cowboys character pack on sales? I didn't know such a thing existed, so no, I haven't. But we might go poke around in the marketplace at some point. If you can find the name of the pack, I don't think my chat lets you put links in here. And mainly it's because I never have quite figured out how to make that possible. I know there's some setting in YouTube somewhere I can go in there and say, allow links or disallow links. It's set to disallow links by default, and I've never bothered to go in there and figure out how to undo that. But if you can find the name of it, maybe I could do a search for it. Okay. And besides that, you also have people that try to get your channel banned, right? And they will intentionally put links in your chats so that happens. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there is some really crazy shit that goes on with the YouTube and all the social medias, just to be honest with you. Hang on one second. Let me go get my ashtray. And I'm going to smoke in here because I don't know how long this video will be. And my nerves get riled up whenever I do these live streams, and it makes me smoke a lot. So I'll be right back. Also turning my air conditioning on too, because I run hot in here. My nerves get all flared up. I get in the heat of battle and I sweat. So there's that. But anyway, I don't want to get marred down into all the trials and tribulations of trying to be on YouTube or any social media platform at all, really. But just be aware that there are a lot of bots that exist on YouTube, various different kinds that do various different things. And they also exist on Twitter, Facebook, right? They exist everywhere. And so sometimes you might be having a conversation with someone in the comment section of a YouTube video or a Twitter post, and that conversation that you're having is with something that's not even real. It's a pre-programmed bot with a set series of phrases that it can reply back to based on trigger words that are in the comments. So how about that? People arguing on the internet, arguing with bots. They call them trolls, right? But they're not trolls. They're not even real people. They're AI-driven bots. They're not even real. How funny is that? We have ghosts in the machine. Very interesting stuff. All right, so let's scroll down through here and let's read some of these topics here. Kill mechanic problem. Setting up multiplayer for Lyra game example. Server and client and migration. Assign location to 3 objects at random. Let's see, connection lost Timed out. Clients are able to pick up unlimited copies of a dropped weapon. As to them, the actor doesn't destroy. Believe it has something to do with the timing, but not sure where I'm going wrong. Dedicated server crash when accepting new connection. Advanced lobby session findable but can't join. Level closes immediately after opening. Server versus client. Client will not play animation, but server does on action mapping button. We've talked about that, right? Like I made a video showing you guys how to replicate animations, specifically montages. It's tricky, but once you understand it, it ain't tricky at all at that point. Let's see. How to run multiple sessions on a single dedicated server. Question for dev of simple interactive game on dedicated server. Boy, there's a lot of people doing dedicated servers these days. Problem with line trace in a center of screen listen server. I've showed you guys how I do that as well. You know, shooting a line trace and getting it to line up right dead in the center of the screen. Client bullets doesn't spawn in right location, right? We've even talked about that some. And whenever I was doing the first person, one of them, I don't remember which one it was. In one of my templates, I was having an issue getting the projectile to actually spawn in the correct location too. And turned out that it was some little weird quirk that had to happen where you had to transfer the location of the muzzle socket up to the server, right? And once I did that, everything started working out, it seems like. Activate trigger with only one player in multiplayer game. Weird replication problem if replicated properly. Property set to class default. Sound replication in UE4 is a joke. No, it's not a joke. It's just weird because it ain't just replication. It's also attenuation. It's those two things that control sound replication. If you put a sound on a multicast and you do not set the attenuation, it's going to play across the entire damn map. Okay? So it's a combination of those two things. It's not a joke. Well, I guess maybe if you look at it from the perspective of testing the sound, yeah, it is a joke. It is kind of hard to test the replication sounds, but once you understand that it's not just the replication, it's also the sound attenuation, then you can start getting a grasp on things. You have to set the radius and the fall off distance in the attenuation. There's another thing that's kind of weird about sounds too. So some of you guys may remember the Modus Digital multiplayer template that I made for those guys. There was something that was going on with that template that bugged the guy that, you know, I guess he's kind of in charge of the animation and all that stuff for those guys, where the sound comes from, like where your ears in the game are. Okay, check this out. And I never really noticed this very much, either that or I just didn't find it as big of a nuisance as those guys did. Raise your hand in chat or type it in chat if you know where the ears of the character is in the Unreal Engine. Where are the ears at? Okay, And I'll just keep going here and see if any of you guys can figure out where the ears are. By default, in the Unreal 4 engine, where are the ears of the character? Okay. Okay, let's keep going here. Can't execute on server, level sequencer actor replication playback not working for Niagara, UE5 physics networking. Good luck with that. And it ain't just UE5 either, it's physics in general are a nightmare to replicate. Steam issue when project migration, execute console command, travel server not working. I think we actually read that one before. Any way to create mess? I thought, didn't somebody already just ask that a minute ago? Is this one of these guys that goes in here and posts the same question every other day because nobody answers it? Let's see. Packaging shipping build errors. Unreal Engine water. Plug-in multiplayer pirate game. Simulating physics in multiplayer spawn point logic. Best way to transfer data between multiplayer maps. Spawn actor replication. Every time I close Unreal 5, every C++ class is unparented from its original blueprint. Imagine that. Play standalone. Unable to change listen port at runtime. Replicating structs with properties. Well, hello. There's no way I can say that name, but I can say Cole. So hello, Cole. Hello, my old friend. Haven't listened to you in a long time now. I'm going to enjoy it a bit like I used to. Well, thank you very much for coming back around. Let's see here. Multiplayer on Android. Did something change in the way multiplayer is working in UE5? Yeah, we talked about that before. Zora. You forget. Well, some of these names on the internet are baffling to me. Why can't you just be like Todd, John, Scott, Robert? Instead, they got to come up with these clever names that nobody could say. But that's okay. You do you, right? Let's see here. Online subsystems can't find created lobby sessions attached to component and network relevancy. Combining multiplayer tut with respawn tut. We've already read through some of these, so I'm going to back out of this topic and we'll go into just blueprints. And let's see if anything in here. Oh, guy still got his blueprint ninja challenge going. How to have a different movement between two attached static meshes. Hitching stuttering. How to make Rayman style hover in 3D. Optimization and best practices for multiple camera split output. Nope. Gameplay ability works fine the first time, but breaks after that. Trying to spawn meshes. How to hide the minus icon on Getavi, Valis, on Spinbox. I don't even know what the hell that is. Probably a spelling error. Okay. So we will go look at that pack. All right, let's see here. UE4 Marketplace. Let's see if we can locate these. I was in the market for making a Western game there for a while. And I didn't. So let's see what these are. Well, what have we here? Well, I'll just be damned. Holy shit, that's expensive as shit. Looks like this guy's made quite a few characters. And sure enough, there's some male and female Western characters. And these just come out in May? Well, that's pretty cool. Let's have a look. Well, I'll just be damned. Hey, look at that. He's got nooses. Do you guys remember I made a video one time where I was doing a hanging mechanic? Do you guys remember that? Some of you guys may remember that. I don't know. But I did, sure enough. You can swap heads, hairstyles, and pieces of clothing. Those don't look bad. Why she got to be naked? Alrighty then. No, those don't look bad at all, actually. And they are on sale too. Jesus Christ, $249 not on sale. And even on sale, that's still expensive. Essentially, what you get is one male and one female with some interchangeable parts, is what that is. Yeah. Yeah. They're cool, but I don't believe I'd pay that kind of money for them. Let's see. Let's see here. You had a good series for me, first person shooters, and I still have those tutorials that helped me a lot 4 years ago. You had a good series for me, first person. Okay. Well, thank you. All right, let's keep moving along here. Moving right along. Data asset crashes, exporting data tables, branch from bool variable that was animated in sequencer misses one tick. Actor doesn't attach anymore after being detached from player. Let's see, advanced vehicle, multiplication issues. Does he mean multiplayer issues? Or is it a math problem? Could be. It's one of them scenarios where 2 plus 2 actually equals 5 instead of 4. Happens to me all the time. Save game to slot, not creating save file. UE4 Facebook, login, how to projectile not colliding with player. I know how to do that. You guys know how to do that? How to make your bullet not hit your player? I know how to do that. Line, trace, end, trigger, event. You know, I've done some really crazy shit with line traces one time. Where, what the hell was I making? I think I was making, It was a random spawning mechanic that was attached to that little thumper demonstration that I made one time. It was pretty cool stuff. You can do some really crazy shit with line traces and stuff. A lot of things people wouldn't even think of you can do with it. Like, I think what was happening in that, if I can remember correctly, follow me on this. What I was doing, follow me. So I had an object that fell down from the sky and landed at a specific location. After it landed, it waited for a few seconds. Then it did a line trace straight up in the air. And then if it hit something in the air, I moved down a certain distance and I done another line trace from that distance forward. And then it went out a certain distance, and from that distance, it went straight down again. And then I had randomization put into the location in the end that came straight down. And it was really cool and really weird and really strange, but it worked really good. It's very cool. Very cool. My ball jumped when hitting the wall. When mouse cursor is not shown, on click events. Behind the actor. Okay, well, I think I'm done with the forum here. I think we're actually going to go into the engine now. And yeah, let's go in here and we'll talk about maybe a couple of the questions that I got asked this week. I'm trying to debate, do we go into Unreal Engine 4? Do we go into Unreal Engine 5? I still don't like Unreal Engine 5, but I think I titled this stream Unreal Engine 5, so I guess we'll go in Unreal Engine 5, even though I hate Unreal Engine 5. We'll kind of go in here anyway, I guess. If I'm still going to do Unreal Engine, I guess I just as well go ahead and get used to using 5. I don't mean I have to like it, okay? It don't, and I won't. So the first thing that we'll talk about is the ears of the character, right? Remember I asked you guys earlier, where are the ears of the character? And why does it even matter? Well, it mattered a lot to the guys over at Modus Digital. I'll tell you guys that right freaking now. It mattered a lot. Okay? So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to show you guys something that baffled me. Why it's not this way by default. Okay, so we're going to add a feature content pack, and we're going to add the starter content. And the reason is so that we can get some stuffs, right? Mainly some sound effects and stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I guess we could just drag in some fire. Right, let's get a particle and let's bring in some fire. Like that. And we're going to set it, I guess, right there. And then we'll go ahead and bring in a sound effect for the fire. And we'll set that right there as well. And then we're going to spawn in here. And you guys might not be able to tell this unless you're wearing a set of headphones. Okay? And I am. So I'm going to spawn in here. And I'm going to go up to the fire. And I want you guys to notice something. Okay, so I'm standing right here at the fire. And now I'm going to walk past the fire and listen. I'll be really quiet. Okay, and now with that little demonstration that I just did there, I'm going to ask you guys again, if you had headphones on, you'll know. Where are the ears of the character? In other words, where does the sound like it's at? Does it sound like it's actually at the head of the character, or does it sound like it's coming from somewhere else? Well, the answer is it sounds like it's coming from somewhere else. And where it's coming from is the camera. The camera location is actually where the ears of the character are. So in this scenario here, if we go in here and we look at the blueprint for this third person camera, or this third person character, the ears of the character are actually wherever this camera is located. So in other words, when you're hearing sounds in the game, what you're actually hearing it from is not the ears of the character. You're hearing it from the camera. Okay. So if you're in a first person scenario, the camera is right up here, right where the head is. So in other words, if you're in first person view, it sounds basically correct. And the reason is because the camera is where the head of the character is. So it simulates like you're hearing from the ears of the character. But in a third person scenario, it's weird because the sound's coming from way behind you. Okay. Which is weird. It's just weird. And the boys over there at Modus Digital drove me batshit crazy trying to figure out a way to fix that. And oddly enough, there is a way to fix that. Okay? And how you fix it is in the player controller. I don't know if I can remember this, so bear with me here. So if you was to say get player controller, right? And you get the player controller, and I don't think this one has a custom player controller, so it's just a player controller. Maybe we should put a custom one in here just so that I can find the goddamn thing, right? So let's create a player controller and just call it PC testing. And then we'll go in the game mode and we'll assign that player controller to that one. Okay. And then we'll cast to it. So cast. Oh yeah, that's really helpful. Testing. There we go. Cast to player controller testing. And inside there is a listener. Okay, here we go. Pay very close attention here. Set audio listener override. Do you see that? That is how you correct where the ears of the character is, right? If you was to do this on event begin play here. Now this ain't for multiplayer, by the way, but this is just a demonstration of how this works. The attach to component, well, you would want to attach it to the mesh of the character, right? And you can even, put in the location. But if you leave these all 0, basically it just puts it at the, I guess the location of the actor. But what you could do, is you could raise it up, right, to, I don't know, something like 90 here. And that might be enough to get it done. So if we go try to do that same demonstration again, let's see if it actually fixed it. No, it did not. And the reason it did not is because we're just putting it at the mesh and the location 0, 0, 0. So what we could do is get a reference to self, which would be this blueprint. And we could say, well, actually, we could just do this. Get actor location. And maybe we could do that, right? And just set it to wherever the actor is. It's not moving. It's not moving with the character. So no, that still ain't even right. Shit. Maybe we should, instead of doing the mesh, maybe we should literally get a reference to cell. Hell, it might not. How the hell did I even do this? It has to be the mesh because it's wanting a component. But it doesn't seem to be. Maybe it's because it has to constantly be reset to follow the character. Oh God, is that really what it is? No, it wouldn't be that. You should be able to set it once and it just do that. Get world location. I think if you do that, it seems like it just sets it there. Maybe we do need to actually do it in the player controller. I don't know. Let's see. No, it's not staying attached. Okay, fine. Have it your way. What we will do instead is get rid of all this. And we'll actually do it in the player controller. So let's open this up. Go in the event graph. On event begin play. Set audio listener override. Maybe it's Unreal Engine 5 that this shit just don't work in. Target is self. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work either. We're going to have to get controlled on and cast to the third person character. And we want the mesh. Get the mesh. I'm still not sure if this will even work, but I got it working. So apparently this does do this. I'm just not configuring this correctly. If you have to do this on event tick, well, screw that. About now. It's exactly the opposite, but it does seem to be working. All right, let's see if we can fiddle with that a little more. Maybe move that up 100. Get world rotation. I don't know. I could sit in here dicking with this for days, but you would think it wouldn't be that complicated to fix, but yeah, that's still coming from the damn left ear. So let's set this to -90. Maybe that'll do it. I don't know. I'm not going to sit in here all day, but well, it's because of the player controller. But anyway, it goes something like that, okay? Which is really fucking weird, but whatever. But yeah, Modus Digital drove me batshit crazy over that for weeks. So there you have it. And if you miss that, it's in the player controller, right? Now that don't necessarily mean that you have to do this in the player controller, but that's where this set audio listener override node is located. It's in the player controller. So if you're trying to do it in the player character blueprint, you've got to get to the player controller first before you have access to this node. And that's a way that you can move it, right? So by default, it's at the camera location. And if you want it to be actually where the ears of the character are, you have to do this. And of course, you'll have to, you know, test and make sure that that's actually working the way that it's supposed to. But it goes something like that. Set audio listener override. Beautiful. BEA beautiful. Okay. Now the next question I got asked, I believe, was something about a door. Right? So what we're going to do is look in this starter content. And was there not a door blueprint in here? Smoke, sparks, assets. Nope. I thought that they had a door. They got a light. They got a ceiling light. An explosion, a fire, smoke, sparks, steam, wall sconce, and a light studio. I guess not. Props. I thought they actually had a door set up in here. They got the door frame and the door. But they don't have, I thought they had a blueprint in here for a door. Guess not. I guess we could try to build one. Right, so if we bring in the door frame, actually, no, it wouldn't go that way. It would actually go this way, right? You would create an actor and you would call it BP door. And then you would open up your actor and you would add a static mesh And you would call this door, maybe call this SM door frame. And then you would put in the door frame. And then you would add another static mesh. And this would be SM door. And then that would be the door. And of course it's not centered, because why would it be? It's got to be on the edge. Let's see. So X is forward. So I guess it doesn't matter, right? You would just put that there. Why the hell does this door not fit in the goddamn door frame? Who modeled this shit? Maybe we need to go by fives. All right, let's compile that and save it. And let's drag it out into the level and see what she looks like. There it is. Done. Hey, look at that. It's got no collision. And it's got no glass in it either, right? So I guess there needs to be another there needs to be another static mesh for the glass. Add another static mesh. How many are we going to have to use 2 different pieces of glass? I bet you we will. Yep, we will. Shit. Oh no, it's big enough to fill it. Okay. I'll unsave that. Now let's go see. Hey, look, it's got glass in it. Imagine that. And now we can't walk through it, right? Which is perfect, right? Because the goal here, I guess, would be to open the door. I think that's what that guy was wanting to know, is how you make a door that you open. Okay. Let's go ahead and call that SM glass. I thought we was going to have to put 2. But I guess not. Compile and save that. And we'll just go ahead and delete all that. And the door frame, it needs to have collision. I'm going to set that to block all. No, the damn character can't stand on it. The door itself, that also needs to have collision. Block all. And the glass. Okay, let's make sure that that's still doing what it's supposed to do. It is. Okay. Now what I want to do is try to figure out how we're going to roll this shit open. Okay. So a lot of this depends on where your pivot point is, right? And it just so happens that the door's pivot point is right here in this corner. So if we were to take the door's rotation, let me just check something here. We rotate that way. Yeah, that's the rotation. Okay. So it would have to go -90, and then it would also need to be able to go +90 or -90. Okay. Okay. I think I got an idea here. So we're going to need a collision box, right? So if we was to add a collision, box collision, and I think we would probably need two. Put one in the front and one in the back. Maybe we should put that about there. Maybe shrink it some this way. Now, this is a simple demonstration too, by the way. I'm not all about trying to make it where you actually have to point at the fucking doorknob and all that stuff. All right, so we will call this one rename, you son of a bitch. Front trigger box. And then we'll duplicate that. Duplicate. And we will call this one back trigger box. And we will move that one over to the other side of the door. And compile that and save it. And now you just need to, do the logic. Event begin overlap, get the door, set the world location, rotation. Ain't that how it would work? I don't know. We will see. All right, front trigger box, add event, on component, begin overlap. Then you take the door frame, not the frame, you take the door, set world rotation. To what, 90? Is that really all it takes to get that done? I don't know. Let's see. How about it? Oh, wow, look at that. And we still can't go through the fucking door. It's because the glass is still there for one, so you got to do the glass too. Isn't that right? So you got to take the glass and also do the same thing. How about now? Look at that shit. Beautiful. Now, how do you shut it? Oh, wow. Look, the glass is sticking out over here. Why is that? Well, I don't know. It's probably because this glass don't fucking fit correctly. Or the pivot point's in a different place, right? Let's see. Where's the glass pivot point? Well, maybe it just needs to be shrunk. Hmm. Yeah, that didn't help matters. The glass is still coming out. Oh yeah, I ain't done yet. We're gonna put some lerps and stuff in it. But you are correct. Yes, it opens so fast. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get that stupid glass to line up exactly with that door. I think the problem is it's the thickness. That's the problem. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so let me just check it one more time. I don't know what the deal is. It's the stupid pivot points is the reason, right? So when you open the door, you see the glass sticking out the back side of it. It's because of the door. I mean, maybe we could set them to the exact same location. I don't know. Instead of rotating at 90, we could maybe we could, instead of doing that, maybe we could do this. Get world location. Oh no, that would be rotation. Well, it's just going to set it to the exact same place. Maybe we could transform. Get world transform. Get world transform. Maybe we could do this instead. I don't know. I didn't make this shit, right? I wouldn't have made it that way. The glass would have already been in the fucking door. Yeah, see there, it's still setting it exactly the same. So it makes no fucking difference whatsoever. So we'll just put it back to the way that it was. Okay, so what we would do here, I suspect, would be get world. It would be LARP rotator. Okay, and then we would say get world rotation. And then this would be to 90 alpha You know what? I actually may have to go look at a reference project. It's been a long time since I did this. Right, so let me go look at a project that I created that I got a fucking door in. Where is it? Where is it? I'm pretty sure I put a door in this project. I don't like working with lerps and shit. You could probably just do it on a timeline too. I'm not sure how I did this. That's why I want to go look. You could do it with a lerp, or you could do it with a timeline. You could do it with either one of them, or it may even be both. I don't know. How many times does a man in a project build a stupid door that opens? I don't know. Not much for me. I think I did it one time. I think I made some elevators and shit one time too. But I'm pretty sure that in this project, there is a door. Ah, yeah, imagine that. There is a door. And I did do it with a timeline. And that's a vector. So this would be LARP float. It would be different. It would be a little bit different. It would be LARP float. But you would still do a timeline. Good God. 0.75. All right, fine. Let's go see if we can recreate this. Okay, so it would be a timeline. Add a timeline. And we're just going to leave it called timeline 0. We'll do this. And I'm just going to move this down here for now. And this will definitely be a LARP rotator. And that's what we need the alpha for out of this timeline. And we would add a new track. And this would be a float track. and it would be, I think you hold down left shift and you click twice, right? This one will be at 0. And this one, that will be 0. And the length would be 0.75. And this one would be 0.75. And that would be a value of 1. And then do that. And then we add a auto curve to that. And then we add a auto curve to that. It didn't do it. Come on now. Okay, I think that's it. Let me go back and look at this one real quick. I think we just have to take the current rotation and then set it to the new one. Yeah, it'd be current rotation and then the end rotation. So that relative location. Okay. So all this for a stupid door. Get relative rotation. And then it would be set relative rotation. Yeah, so that would be this. I don't think we need that. No, we do need this. Hold on here. We do need this and this. And this would be 90. And this would be the alpha. Is that it? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. My door don't open this way. There. It went. Did you see it? It went. Okay. So then if that's the case, we need to dupe this. Control D. And dupe this. Control D. And this would be, delete this crap. We need this. Get relative rotation. And that goes here. And this would be the alpha. and that's also 90. So how do you control the speed? I guess that would be the play rate. Hold on here. Let me look at this. That's still fast, but it's smoother than it was. Let me go look in this other project and see what the hell I did to change the speed. Door speed. It'd be the play rate. So the door timeline and then the play rate. Okay. So I think it goes like this. So we open the door and we get a reference to that timeline. Wait, how the hell did I get a reference to the timeline? Door timeline. What type is that? Huh. Okay. I'm not sure how the hell I did that. I'm not sure how the hell I did that. Let's name this. Let's see. Name. Okay. Let's call it door timeline. You shouldn't leave shit named default. That makes it harder, right? And then if we type door timeline, get door timeline. That's it. And then we set play rate. And that will give us the ability to change it, right? So if we set this to 0.2 here, and now it should be slower. Look at that shit. John God, you glorious bastard, you. So that will control the speed at which the door moves, right? So if you want it to move faster or slower, you change this value. So 0.1. That should be faster. Nope, that's slower, right? So the lower the value, the slower the door goes. See how that works? Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. All this for a fucking door. How important are doors? I don't know. Okay, so that's that. And then if you want the door to shut, we could do this. Let's see here. Add event on component end overlap. And we'll probably need to do this again. Control. No, actually, we could just take this and reverse it, right? Wouldn't that work? Reverse. Go backwards. But see, that's not going to, if you try to go through the door from the other side, right? So if we do this, it opens. And then if we go completely through, it didn't shut it. Well, that's probably because it's still got something overlapping it. And also, I'm noticing that didn't go. It don't look like that went a full 90 degrees. Maybe that's why the damn door and shit ain't lining up. Whatever. God, this is son of a... Oh, maybe it's because it's got to be reversed from the end. Is that what it is? I don't... Well, hell's bells. I think it's because, well, let's do this. Is this stupid thing even ending the overlap? Ever? Ah, it's because well, it ended it there too. Stupid shit. Well, we could do this. We could cast to the third person character. That'll check to see if it's a character that ended the overlap, and if it's true, reverse from end. Right? Isn't that, shouldn't that, couldn't that, wouldn't that? Shut the fucking door back. Oh, I know what it is. It's because it's not. It's we're not setting it back to 0. Right? So it's setting it back to this, right? And that's wrong. It needs to be set back to 0. So we're going to have to do this. And we're going to have to do all this shit right here all over again. Fantastic. There's probably a better way to do this. I'm just pissing in the wind. Okay. So we got to put the door here and the glass here. And this just needs to be zeroed out, doesn't it? How about now? And nothing. Of course not. It's because I didn't hook the damn alpha up. Hello. Hello. How about now? Are you sure you even know what you're doing? No, not really. Fuck doors. Look at that. It tried to shut, I think, but it stuck me in it. Nope. Nope. Oh, there it went. What the hell? Who's ding-a-linging my phone at this time of night? Oh, it's a stupid download. Fucking installing shit I didn't ask for it to install. Don't you guys just love that they auto update shit? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, wow. Now it's really going. Yeah, that fixed it right up. There's still not, there's still something fucked here. I don't know what it is. Um, oh, I know what it is. It's because of this. Because of course it is. I still think you should be able to reverse that shit without having to do this over again. It's because the door is dragging. Is that what it is, really? Oh, wow. It opened really fast that time. What in the hell is going on here? Can we not just do this? Why does this have to be such a dick? I don't know. Yeah, see, it won't do it. Do I really have to sit here for 3 hours working on a door? I guess so. It's because that stupid door is overlapping those boxes. I believe is what's going on. And see, once it does it one time, is that because it keeps speeding it up every time? Oh, wait a minute. Reverse from end? Oh, no, we already tried that. We could just make it shut after a duration. Or you could just leave the door open. Just leave the door open. After you open it, leave it open. See, the way I done the door in my other project, it ain't that way, right? It don't rotate. It goes up and down. I don't get too technical with the doors. I don't understand why it works one time and then after that it's foobarred, right? So let's undo this. Now what happens when we go back through it again? Nothing. Nothing. I got nothing. It's because you have to shut it. Well, let's try this. Let's try something different here. Let's say when this is finished, we set a delay. When it's finished, set a delay. And then after that delay is over, then we do that. Let's just see if it'll auto shut the door without doing the overlap shit. All right, shut the door. Nothing. Oh, there it went. Now, if we do that again, what happens? Ah, I know what it is. It's because it's getting reactivated and reactivated and reactivated and reactivated. And every time we're doing it, we're shaving time off of this, I believe is what's happening. Or maybe it's because we need to play from start every time. Is that what it is? Is it literally that? Stupid timelines. I hate timelines. I hate timelines. I hate LERPs. I hate all of it. All of it. All right, how about now? Oh, look at that. Beautiful. You got to play it from the start every time. You. Hey, look, we fixed it. Look, that's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that door at all. Nothing. It works perfectly fine. All that for a stupid door. All right, well, okay, so the door demonstration is over. Next, it goes something like that. For the person that emailed me and asked me that question, it goes something like that. I would just make the door go up or down. All right, let's see. What was the other questions I got asked? Was there any more? I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, I kind of did get asked another question about random spawns. And they were referencing a video I made a long time ago about creating a random spawn volume. And so I guess I could do that. So what we'll do is we'll create another actor and we'll call it VP Random Spawner. And then inside here, we're going to add a collision, a box collision. And we'll compile that and save it. Did I do that in that other project too? It's hard to remember all this stuff off the top of your head, guys. I hope you know that. But it seems like I did that in here. Yeah, I did. Sorta. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right, so basically we can just duplicate this thing. Okay, so a random spawn volume. Okay. Let me just put this on my other screen over here so I can hurry this along. And we'll recreate this little random spawn volume that I made. You guys might like this, you might hate it. I don't know, but it's cool either way. Okay, so let's get back in here. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is on event begin play, we're going to set timer by event. And then we're going to create a custom event. And we're going to call this on actors. And we will plug this up here. And we're going to do every 1 second. And then we're going to get the box collision that we put in here. Let's not call it box collision. Let's call it spawner volume. Okay. And we're also going to turn off all the collision for this thing, right? Because let's make it be visible so that we can see it. So let's uncheck hidden in game. And let's go ahead and compile and save that. And let's drag this into the level so that we can see it. Okay. And we'll do this. Let's just put it up here like that. Okay. And then we're going to take the spawner volume and we're going to get world location. And then we're going to get scaled box extent. And we're going to get random point. Let's say random point. There it is. Random point in bounding box. That's what we're looking for right there. Okay. And we're going to put this in the center, and the half size is going to be this. And we're going to be doing a sphere trace by channel. And this is going to go here. And this is going to go to the start. And then we're going to add. So add. No, we're going to multiply by a value, and that's going to go here. The radius, let's just set this to 2, and we're going to set this to 10,000, and we're going to get a reference to self, and we're going to say make array, and that's going to go in here. And we're going to turn our draw debuggers on to 4 duration. And that should do it, right? Let's see. So if we hit play, they're going straight up in the air. So that's kind of wrong. That needs to be negative 10,000. We want them to go down. Okay, how about now? That's not on looping. That's not on looping. That needs to be on looping. How about now? There we go. All right. So now the next part of this equation is this. We want to be able to select this thing in the level and scale it. Okay. So what we're going to do is in the destruction script, we're going to get the spawner volume, And we're going to pull out of this and say set box extent and we're going to promote this to a variable, and we're going to call, well, we'll just call that box extent. And by default, what size is this box? 32 across the board, right? So we're going to take this and we're going to set that to, well, compile and save. We're going to set that to 32 by 32 by 32. And then we're going to select that variable and we're going to say expose on, no, we're going to say instance editable. And now when we select that in the level and we look in the details under the default, now we can take that and do this, right? See how I'm scaling this thing? And we could shrink that. And let's go ahead and raise it up some. And let's play and watch the lines coming down out of the sky. Do you see how it's picking random spots? See that? Now what you can do is you can get it to spawn shit, right? Isn't that the point? So let's just create a actor and we'll just call this BP Fire. Actually, didn't the starter content have that in here already? Hold on. In this starter content, wasn't there? Well, it's explosion. Is that set to auto destroy? Let's see here. I thought there was a way. Did they remove that? Is there not a way to make that thing self-destruct? Oh, here it is, initial lifespan, right? We'll just make it last for 1 second. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get it to spawn that. Let's actually see what it does. Okay, so it plays and then it quits, which is fine. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so now we go back into our spawner. And in the event graph, after it hits something, we could do a branch here. So if this hits something, we're going to spawn actor from class. And the actor is going to be the explosion. And we will break the hit result. And we will get that at the impact point. Split this. That will go to there. Always spawn, ignore collisions. So now let's see if it actually spawns those stupid explosion blueprints. How about that? And that can be any actor, by the way. And what's cool about this and doing it this way is that it will take into account the distance, right? So see how this over here, you got all these different imagine this is a terrain, right? And you got different hills and different valleys and all that. Well, you need a way so that when you spawn the actor, it will spawn it at the ground, right? And so if you've got certain parts of your map that is taller than the other parts, that's why this trace comes down, because it spawns it at where it hits it at. See, watch. Now, right now, we're just spawning an explosion, but you could spawn anything. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it's an actor. So as an example, if I was to put in third person characters, just pretend for a moment that this is AI, okay? And it's not just these characters. But what'll happen is now it'll actually spawn those characters. See? And see how it's putting them into the ground? Well, that's where you can take this value right here. See, we're just spawning it at the impact point. Well, if you was to add an amount to that, add vector, do you do plus? There you go. Put that back in the spawn transform, and you could okay, well, if you take the impact normer and make rot from Z, you could put that as the rotation, and you could add an amount to it, right? Like 100. So it'll spawn it 100 units above where that trace hits, right? So see, now we're actually getting them to spawn on the ground and not in the ground. See? See how that works? So imagine that's AI instead of just, you know, character blueprints. And with those traces coming down the way that they are, it takes into account the distances. Like if you've got buildings, you got rocks, you got hills, you got valleys, it'll just spawn them above it, 100 units. See? So that is how I do a random spawner. And now that you guys see that, you see how useful that could be. You could spawn coins, make you a coin blueprint, and you can make it randomly spawn coins in, and you run around and pick them up, and you can throttle it too, by the way. So, you know, the way that that's set up, it's just going to constantly keep spawning them. But you could, let's see, how did I do that? Let me look at this project for a second. Well, you would have to you would have to you would have to put a count, right? And then you would stop the timer when it reaches that amount. Well, no, actually what you would do is you would put let's see here. I did this in another project, right? But you would have to keep track of how many it spawns, and you would put a branch here and say that you only do this if it's under a certain amount, right? It would be that. It would be you could even make it do them all at once, right? Instead of this, you could just put a for each loop here and have it do this part 8 times, right? So when the level builds, it'll spawn 8 of whatever you determine to put in there. Oh, there's plenty of ways you could modify this and change it and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And you could also make it only you wouldn't want these things spawning on top of each other. So you could make it only spawn those if it hits the ground. Well, look at that. It spawns them leaning. You guys get the idea. I'm sure you're smart. You guys that follow this place around here, you guys already know most of this shit. But I get a lot of questions from people that are new. Why does this make me want to build a game? I don't know why, but it does. Horde mode. And after a certain amount, you kill them. And when you finish it, it speeds up that timer and spawns them faster and faster and faster and more and more and more. But anyway, whatever. That's just a cool little way that you guys can do random spawning. And taking into account the distance. And it's based on however big this box is too, by the way. So if you wanted to cover this whole map, you could take that volume and you could just scale it till it fills in the whole map. Like that. Something like that. Now it takes into consideration the whole entire map. See that? It should totally let you push these guys over. Be like, make a cow tipping game. There we go. That's what we can do. Make a cow tipping game. Okay, let's check chat. Did I put all you guys to sleep over there between the door and the random spawner? I'm sure you guys are asleep by now. Sounds like I hate programming in general. No, I don't mind scripting. It's just you get burnt out after you've built so much shit. And on top of that, you can't ever remember everything. So there's plenty of things that I've built in the past that I'm like, oh shit, how did I do that? And if I don't have a project that I've created in the past and kept for reference, I have to start all over, right? And then you're in prototype phase. So first you prototype it, then you test it, then you fix shit that's broke, and then you keep polishing it. And over a period of time, it gets better and better and better and better. And that's why my TPS basic template, my multiplayer FPS template, my capture the flag, every now and then I've done something in one of them that I haven't done in a very long time, so I have to go back and look at it again. I'm like, how the hell did I do that shit again? But the upshot is that I've been doing this for so long and working on these projects that I've got for so long that the templates that I sell that's got mechanics in it, those are really polished mechanics, meaning it ain't like I just built the template and then it was done. It was, first I prototyped this, then I tested it, then I improved it, then I tested it, then I improved it, and then I tested it. And over a period of years of testing different types of ways to handle shooting mechanics, et cetera, after a period of time, they get better and better. So the stuff that I sell on the marketplace is really polished, good stuff that has been a quote unquote work in progress over several years before it made it to the marketplace. Okay, let's see. Listening to him relaxed and with humor, you will learn tons of things and then you can learn another. I try to be funny, because it's frustrating, right? Especially when you're first learning how to do this stuff, it's frustrating as hell. Why don't this work? Well, how come that don't work? Well, why is that acting stupid? So I just try to be funny about it. Well, that didn't work. I always approach it like I'm Wile E. Coyote playing with an Acme Dynamite kit, waiting on something to blow up in my face. That's what I do. And then when it blows up in my face, I'm like, well, okay, obviously that didn't work for shit. And I tear it apart and try it a different way. Let's see. EQS, you could do the same thing, but take into account other meshes in the world so you don't have characters spawning on the wall and stuff. Well, I don't fool with that stuff, but you could do that pretty simply in here, right? So what you would do, like as an example, if you don't want characters to be able to spawn on top of other characters, you could take the hit actor and you could check to see if it is a third person character. And if it is a third person character, you don't do anything. But if it's not, you go ahead and spawn it. And you could even say, okay, well, I only want this to be able to spawn if it hits a landscape, meaning you can't spawn on top of buildings, you can't spawn on top of static meshes. Well, then you could check to see if it is a landscape, okay? Meaning it's your terrain. And if it is your terrain, you let it spawn. And if it's anything other than a terrain, you don't let it spawn, right? So that's another way that you could do it with this type setup here without ever touching the EQS. And see, I'm pretty sure none of this is not a terrain, right? So see, everything that it hits, it's not going to spawn it. But if we actually had terrain, it would, right? Like, let's see here. Landscape. Create new. Create. Right? And so what you could do now, go back to select. And shit, we're going to have to raise all this stuff up. This is a really piss poor demonstration of this. I think that's all of it. Right, and if we raise this up, and then we were to take that spawner volume and move it half and half, blow this wall out here, and now hit, it will only spawn it if it hits a terrain. Or not, right? It didn't fucking work. What did I do wrong here? Cast to landscape. It's supposed to spawn. Unless it's changed to something that's not landscape. It's supposed to be landscape. Oh, landscape proxy. I see what you did there, Epic. I see what you fucking did there. Right, so yes, that's going to fail every time. It needs to be, if it is a landscape proxy, is that what that's, what the fuck was that called? Landscape proxy. Fine, have it your way, Epic. Why do you have to change everything? How about now? Oh, look at that. So see, if it hits the landscape, it'll spawn them. But if it hits, see, it hit here, that's not a landscape, so it won't spawn them. See? So there's still ways that you can, you know, get it to spawn only. It, depending on what it is that you're spawning, you know, you might say, okay, only spawn if it hits a landscape. Or you could say, only spawn if it hits a landscape. Or you could say, if it hits another character, don't spawn. So there's still ways that you can kind of control where it allows those things to spawn. The main thing is the distance, right? That's the whole purpose of it coming down out of the sky that way. It is because of being able to control the distance. So if we were to go back to this and pump some hills up, and then we raise this thing up. And of course, if you get real high, you'll have to, you know, increase the distance at the trace. But you see, now it takes into account the height of the terrain. And you probably don't want that damn rot from Z anymore. Just spawn them at 0. Otherwise, they're all going to be fucking tilted. And we can't have that. I have entirely too much fun with this. I will blow this whole engine up. For real. By the way, this probably don't work for multiplayer. Matter of fact, I'm quite sure it won't. But it would be easy to make it work for multiplayer. Let's just see, shall we? I'm pretty sure it don't work. But we can check. Where the hell did the player start go? Well, it is working. I see him. Do you see him? He sees them. So see there, it does work. But the reason that it works is because this is wrong, right? What I tell you guys, the very first thing that should come after this is a has authority. Switch has authority. So I bet if I put that in there, it'll kill it. It won't work anymore. But then again, it might because it is still working. I know why too. It's because I bet you this blueprint's set to replicated. So if you look in the class defaults here, replication, look, see, it's checked replicates by default. If that was not set replicated, it wouldn't work. Look, I'll show you. So if we go back in here and we change what we're spawning to a non-replicated blueprint, which would be the explosion that we started out with, I bet you that blueprint's not replicated. And now I bet you it won't work. Come over here. Do you see anything blowing up? Nope. Nothing. I got nothing. So the reason is because that blueprint's not replicated. So if you was to go back into there, into the explosion, and you set that to be replicated, it'll work now. Welcome to multiplayer. See there? Voila. See there, you could call in a missile strike. You could throw a grenade out and cause the grenade to spawn the spawner volume, and then have it call in, you know, random artillery strikes in and around the area where you threw the little thingamajig. Let's just build a whole game right here on live stream. We can build all kinds of shit. Build it and blow it up. We could dick around with some of these blueprints they got in here. Let's get rid of the spawner. I don't want that shit blowing up in my ear the whole time. So this wall sconce, what the hell does that even do? Have they got this set up with a light in it? Oh, they do. They do. Let's dick around with this thing for a while. How about it? They don't have that set replicated, but it still works. But if we was to try to modify it, it wouldn't. Like if we wanted it to change the color after the duration or something, it wouldn't. I'm glad to see they still ain't got that shit fixed yet. All right, how about it? Work or not work? Nope, it didn't. Not for the client. That's because it ain't replicated. Just set that to 5 seconds. Nope. But if you replicate the actor, it'll work, right? So if you come in here and just check out one simple little magical box right there, that'll make it change colors. Okay, go. Oh, nope, it still didn't. Oh, look at that. It still didn't. That's because it's got to be multicast. That is why. That is why. That is why. So let's hook this back up. And then we go to multicast. Oh no, we got to create a custom event. Multicast. Light color. Change it to multicast and then call it here. And then do this. That should get it done. Maybe, potentially, possibly, probably, or not. All right, go. Boom. Done. I wonder if we can make it flash. Right, so we set the light color, and then we. How the hell do you turn a point light on and off? Here we go. Set timer by event. So after we change it to red, create a custom event. Flash light. Um, Flip, flop. Oh, flip, flip. Yeah, that's exactly right. Flip, flip. Genius. Looping every 1 second. And then we say set hidden in game. To hidden. Dupe it. And then we unhide it. Right? So turn red and then flash every 1 second. How about it? Go. Red, gone. Back, gone. Back, gone. Look at that. All right, let's go further. So now what are we what are we gonna do to this thing? Okay, so we need to let's see here. Maybe we can make it change colors too. Okay, so duplicate this. So when we turn it back on, we're going to change the color. Let's see here. So if we promote this to a variable and we change this to a array, maybe we should just do select color. No, that's not enough. Select and no, that still ain't what I'm trying to do. Let's see here. Let's put this back in here. Then, okay, so got one color in it. Let's add 3 colors, and we will say one is red. Oh, nope. The alpha to 1. And then we'll make one green. And then we'll make one blue. And then we will say random. Nope. Okay. Get. random in range. Okay. And the minimum will be 0 and the maximum will be 2 because there's 3 colors and integers start at 0. Isn't that right? So now it should flash between red, blue, and green, theoretically. Blue, blue. Oh, they're not the same. They're not the same on both screens. Well, of course they're not. Why does things that seem so simple end up being so complicated? So it's picking a different one on the server than it is the client. So how would you get them to be in sync? Well, that's a good question. I have no fucking idea. You would have to set the integer. The server would have to set the integer, I think. Let me see here. Let's see if we can sort this out. Right, we got a issue that we need to fix here. We want this to be the same on both. So how would we do this? This would have to be it would probably have to be set here, right? So it just needs to be an integer. Okay. I think I might know how to do this. So if we was to promote this to a variable, and let's unhook this. Okay. And see, that's doing multicast, right? So it would need to be the server would need to do this. Let's get rid of that color here. So I still want it to be random. But we can't do that here. And it needs to repeat, right? So, I mean, we could put another timer in here, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to put another timer that is just for that. So, since this runs on the server and the client, I bet you we could put another. Okay, let's see here. Let's put a sequence here. I love doing little exercises like this. So first, we would need to pick a random integer. Let's call this random color int. Okay. And that would need to be set. And we would need a as authority, switch as authority. So first, we would pick a random integer, have the server set the random integer, and that would be between 0 and 2. And after that, we would do this. And this would be getting this. And this needs to be replicated. And how about now? Oh, whoa, whoa, get back here. How about now? Are they in sync? Red, green, blue. Oh, green on one and red on the other. Oh, well, what the hell? It's in sync some and then some it's not. What in the bullshit is going on here? Well, it gets most of them right, but that's still not exactly right. Son of a... Maybe that right there actually don't need to be replicated because that is being set by the server every 1 second. Maybe that don't need to be replicated. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. That's funny how it gets most of them right, but not all of them. Oh, no. See, it's still out of sync. Son of a... It was closer to right the other way. Well, I thought for sure that that would work. Maybe it's because this also... Ah, that's what it is. This needs to be replicated too. Okay. I think I got it. So this needs to be replicated and this needs to be replicated. I think that might be the ticket right there. Yes or no? How about it now? Work, you son of a bitch. Look at that shit. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. We got her instinct now. And you know what? More than likely, remember me saying in a video about once a month, don't replicate shit if it don't need to be. So the color, this right here might not need to be replicated. It may just be the color variable. Let's see. This is how you figure out if shit needs to be replicated, yes or no. Okay, that didn't work, right? So just by replicating the color variable, that ain't the ticket. See, they're both blue there. Now one's green and one's blue. Green and blue. Green and blue. Blue and blue. Green and blue. Blue and blue. Red and blue. So see there, that don't work. So if then you say, okay, well, let's unreplicate this variable and let's replicate this one. This is how you figure it out, guys. Them damn videos that people make trying to do these multiplayer tutorials. Well, I'm not sure if it needs to be replicated, but let's just replicate it anyway. Right? So now we're back to the integer is replicated, but the color is not. So let's see if it stays in sync. Okay. Now, did we not just try that shit a minute ago and it didn't fucking work? Okay, so all we've got is the random color in variable replicated. That's it. That's all we've got. We unreplicated that one. And for whatever reason, it seems to fucking be working now. So let's just sit here and watch it and see if it gets out of sync. It's out of sync. See? Did you see it? Did you catch it? Look, both red. Not green and red, right? And so that means that both of these need to be replicated in order for this to work properly. So that means that integer and that array of colors both need to be replicated in order to get it to stay in sync indefinitely. Or maybe it'll break again. I don't know. Let's see. It looks right to me. Now you guys know how to make a red light. Go from red, weighted duration, go to green, weighted duration, go to yellow, weighted duration, go back to red. You can make a stop sign for your game. Go. Shit. It's in sync now, for sure. So obviously, for that to work properly, the actor itself has to be replicated. You do a switch has authority here to filter out the client so that it goes no fucking where. You wait a duration, and then you multicast the light color. First, we set it to red. Then we set a timer. And this is multicast, by the way. Then we set a timer. Every time this fires, it's picking a replicated random integer, going into a flip-flop, and then we're cycling the color. Voila. Now go build a game. Oh, they just went out of sync. Did you guys see that? So no, I still don't think it's right. Nope, see? They're out of sync again. What in the hell is going on here? Well, whatever. Close but no cigar. Oh, I bet I know what it is. Maybe we should reconfigure this. So we shouldn't be doing this on a multicast, right? This should be run on the server. So let's change this to server light color. And let's take this part right here out. Okay. So we do have the server, and it does need to do this. That'll set the light color on the server. And then we need to go and multicast. Create a custom event. Multicast. Cycle light. I bet that'll do it. And we could just call that here. Multicast. Cycle light. And then that will go here. The server's the only one that needs to know about this color. So that probably don't need replicated. Let's just do this, right? Let's set it all back to default. Let's unreplicate all these. Okay, so let me look at this. So we have the server starting the timer. Every time the timer fires, we really probably don't need that delay there now, right? So it's going to be whatever color it is by default. And then it's going to start the timer. And then it's going to pick a random color. All right, let's try this. Let's see what this does. Oh yeah, that really fixed it. Now it's completely out of sync and they're not flashing at the same time. Oh yeah, that's perfect. It just keeps getting better and better. What the hell did I do here? Yeah, I mean, this right here is completely out of whack now. I love messing with this stuff. You got to get to the root. Yeah, I guess that's because the timer's starting on different okay. All right. That's no biggie. Okay, so let's put this back to multicast because apparently that needs to be set on both. So let's change this back to multicast. And oh, I know. No, that shouldn't have mattered right there. Okay, so that means that that will be fired on a multicast. So the server needs to do that. Which is fine. We don't really even need that because that's always going to be. Oh, no, no, no. We do need that. Shit. So have that server set that and then multicast this. Okay. Let's try that. Is that not what we did a minute ago? The same damn thing? I don't know. They're definitely out of sync again. Nope. Not yet. If it ain't broke, fix it till it is, damn it. Now it ain't doing shit. You know, honestly, this is backwards anyway. I don't understand how it's fucking out of sync. Oh, it's so funny. I mean, that's exactly what we had a minute ago. That's doing that. Setting our integer. It's a stupid flip flop. I guarantee you that's what it is. Broke the shit out of it. Okay, how about now? You stupid piece of shit. Okay, I give up. I'm sure that fixed it. Nope. Well, I'll just be damned. All right, that's it. I quit. I give up. Piss right on it. I had it close a minute ago, and now I've got it all sorts of screwed up. Whatever. It's a stupid flip flop. I know that's what it is. Flip flops suck. Hello, Mr. Ripper Junkie. I'm just screwing around, man. I ain't really doing nothing. I'm just dicking around. As always. Okay, well, now that we broke that, now what do you want to do? So Misguided Games is asking, let me bring Chad over here. So are you going to make a game now? I know a while back you wanted to make that cowboy game. Well, the reason that I didn't make it was because that guy that was supposed to make the male characters, he never made them. Well, now, I think it was you that linked that a minute ago. There's now male and female characters. So I suppose theoretically, if I wanted to invest the money into buying those characters, I suppose that I could make the cowboy game, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not impressed with that damn horse riding template that they gave away for free this month. That thing's a piece of shit. So I would have to create my own horse riding mechanics, which that would be fun. I don't know. I'm not really in the game making mood, just to be perfectly honest. I've been putting quite a bit of thought into creating a new template. here's a good question for you guys to think about. So a lot of people ask me all the time about making a save game state. And I told you guys that I'd never found the need to create one. For the templates and stuff that I make, there's really no reason to have one. So I got thinking about this new template. Okay. And this new template that I was thinking about making, it was going to be a template that had several different game modes. So you would have single player, you would have multiplayer, and within the multiplayer, you would have co-op, you would have open world. That would be the co-op. It would be open world. Well, actually, it would have co-op and open world. I would make them different. I would make it where you could do co-op missions where you and 5 players could go do stuff. And then I would have open world where you could have up to 10 players on a single map. So it would be like co-op, but not really. Co-op would be more like instanced missions where only you and the people that you want could go. Co-op would be that. Free for all would be, open world would be you just load in on a map and there may or may not be up to 10 players on it with you. And then I thought about doing PvP in the same template where you could do free for all, you could do capture the flag, you could do team deathmatch, and maybe one more like capture and hold or something like that. And then it was going to be where you could pick your class. So it would have 5 classes: assault, dreadnought, biotech, engineer, and recon. And within those classes, you could pick a custom character, right? So you could pick from a pool of different characters. And then within those classes, during your playtime, you could earn the ability to have different weapons. Like you would be able to change out your primary weapon, your secondary weapon, your ability, and the style of grenade that you had. And potentially melee. And so there would need to then be a way to store your progress, right? So in other words, when you load into the game for the very first time, you get to pick your class and your character. And that's it. It will come with the default loadout, meaning you will only have the default gear. And then as you play the game, whether you play single player or you play co-op or you play open world, you would be able to acquire points, if you will, gold. And then after you accumulate a certain amount, you would be able to purchase new stuff for your characters. And that would have to be stored, right? You would have to say, oh, well, you earned this much gold during this match, so the next time you log in, you have that much gold. And then when you earn X amount, you can go into a little store that'll be in the game where you can say, okay, I want to buy this primary weapon, and then that would get added to your character. Plus you would still have the old one, the default one. And so it would require the ability to have a save game state. So then the question becomes, how do you track that? How do you assign what that character got? How much gold did he get? What weapons does he have? What character did he pick for his class? Etc., etc. So the only way that you could do that would be by the player name. Now, I know you guys have seen tutorials where they do multiplayer and they give you the ability to name your character, right? You guys have seen these videos, I'm sure. You can name your character Ball Sack or whatever you want to name it. You can just make up a name and name it. And every time you come back to the game, it gives you that exact same ability to name your character. Okay? So that's out, right? Because the moment that you come into the game named John Galt, and if you come back to the game and you decide that you're going to change the name of your character to Galt John, well, everything that you accumulated as John Galt doesn't exist on Galt John, right? And then on top of that, how do you prevent people from naming their character the same name as someone else? So as an example, if I was to load into this template that I'm contemplating making here, and I give my player the ability to name my character, and when I first log in, I name my character John Galt. Well, what's to keep the guy that comes in after me from naming his character John Galt, right? So there would have to be logic put in to say, if this name already exists, you have to pick a different name. So the way that I figured out how to work around that is I get asked a lot from people who buy my products, my templates and stuff, why didn't I give the character the ability to name their character? Why does it by default use your Steam name? Well, the reason and the answer to that question is it's because Steam will not allow two-player character names to be the same. So when you create your Steam account, right, you have to put in your player name, and if the player name you try to put in is already taken, it will tell you right then and there that you can't use that name. So that eliminates me from having to put in any kind of logic to say, if this name already exists, you have to pick a different name, because by default, my templates use your Steam name, which Steam already makes you pick a unique username. Okay. So that eliminated that. So then the next thing about this save player state is this. I only do listen servers, right? So then, with that being the case, there's no permanent server somewhere that would exist that would be able to store the names of the character in their inventory, what they have, what character they picked, etc., etc. There wouldn't be one. So the only thing that you could do in a listen server environment is store that data on their computer, right? Because that's where it stores the save game state. When you exit the game, you put in the scripting to make it write a new save game file. Well, then when you load the game, it checks to see if that save game file exists. And if it does exist, it loads back up whatever the scripter put in, right? So it would load back in your class that you picked, what character that it had, and what kind of gold or whatever it was that you earned, and what kind of weaponry you had purchased. Well, if it's stored on their computer, well, then obviously that means that there is the possibility that they could go in there and hack in and give themselves free gold, free characters that they haven't unlocked, or free items that they haven't unlocked. So, until I figure out a bulletproof way to get that to work, I haven't started this template yet that I'm contemplating making. And then the next thing becomes, okay, well, if you store it on the host computer, well, then that means the host of the server could go in there and dick with people's stuff. So it's looking like that there really ain't no secure way to do that without having a dedicated server. And with that being the case, that kind of limits what I would be able to put in this new template, because I'm not fooling with dedicated servers, right? I'm just not. And so I've been thinking about it, been working it out in my head. I've been doing some experimentation and checking this and checking that. So I don't know. I may be able to make a new template, and then again, I may not. You know, people email me all the time asking me for all these different templates and stuff, and I'm like, most of it's clones, right? Why don't you make a clone this or a clone that? And I'm like, I'm not trying to reproduce something that I've already made. And I'm also not trying to reproduce a different game that already exists. I always put my own style and spin on it. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I would like to make a new template. That would help supplement my income for sure. But I don't want it to be redundant. I don't want it to be like something that I've already made. And it has to be AAA quality too, because I don't make shit. Okay, so it ain't like I would just try to slap something together. Oh, look at this new template I made. It's fantastic. You should go buy it. No, this is something that'll take quite a while to make, and I haven't even got into the prototype phase yet, because until I get it worked out in my head how it's going to go and how it's going to work and what it's going to have, I don't even start. So, and I don't write it down. I don't make game design documents and all that other bullshit either. I work it all out in my head. And then I'm like, okay, well, here's how that would work. Here's how that would work. So currently I'm stuck at, if I want to add all this stuff that I'm going to add, I'm going to have to figure out a way to do it securely, so that the host of the game can't go in there and get pissed off at somebody and delete all their gold or take all their characters' items away and all that bullshit. I definitely can't store it on the client's computer, because they could go in there and do the same damn thing, so that won't work. So, I don't know. I don't know how I could do it. I don't know if it could even be done with a listen server. Probably not. I'm kind of leaning towards probably not. But I'm going to put more thought into it and see what I can come up with. All right. So with that, guys, thanks for hanging out with me on a Friday, dicking around, blowing up shit, getting stuff to kind of work, but not really. And then we will see you guys in another stream in another time. So with that, you guys take care and have a good Memorial Day.